Hi, my name is Teresa Jurgens, and I am starting a new weekly series to read to you from my recent book, the Innovation Process book. This book covers four different processes for project managing different product development projects, and we talk about four categories of risk. You can get the book on Amazon. The link is below. And you can also register for a 6-week course starting August 12th. And that link is also below. So let's get started. And I want to start at the beginning with chapter 1, Introduction. Innovation is inseparable from risk. Individuals and companies both face uncertain decisions that will impact future outcomes. We use new product development or NPD processes to tackle risks and deliver value. Successful new products provide value to the end user as well as the producer. Yet innovations often fail due to a lack of understanding of four key risk factors: customer, financial, technical, and people risk. All great innovators face failure at one time or another, but success comes from balancing organizational strategy against these risk factors. Amazon has a history of generating exciting new ways to reach customers with a variety of products ranging from books to groceries and web services. However, in 2014, Amazon's launch of the Fire Phone fell far short of expectations. The price was dropped significantly within just 2 months of release, and inventory remained stubbornly high until the company chose to write off the devices just 3 months after product launch. What went wrong? Customer risk. Product development must focus on the end user. In 2014, the market for smartphones was largely saturated. Amazon was most likely to attract first-time buyers to the Fire Phone, but this accounted for less than 20% of the smartphone market. Financial risk. The initial Fire Phone price with a 2-year contract was $200. Amazon had previously competed on pricing by offering good enough, inexpensive devices. Even with a price cut to 99 cents, the Fire Phone did not entice new customers. Amazon was forced to take a $170 million charge to cover the lost value of unsold Fire Phones, with $83 million still in inventory. Technical risk. Apple and Android had already established a solid hold on the smartphone market by 2014. Apple iTunes App Store offered 1 million apps, while the new Fire Phone lacked basic apps with easy access to email or maps. Fire Phone's differentiating feature, a 3D camera that allowed people to scan and identify items, was viewed as a marketing ploy to buy more goods through the e-commerce giant. However, even this function failed to gain traction, as most buyers use their laptops to complete purchases. People risk. While the literature on the Fire Phone development team is light, Amazon is well known for using small teams in product design. The devices team are among the most desired working assignments at Amazon. However, isolated product development teams working without frequent end user interaction, such as releasing an MVP, a minimal viable product, can still derail a cohesive team and lead to commercial failure. While Amazon failed to adjust the new product development or NPD process for the risks of a smartphone, this book is about how you can identify and manage uncertainties with the most effective approach for your organization. Understanding customer, financial, technical, and people risks are a first step in successful product management. Let's take a look at another product launch that successfully managed these key risk factors. Polly is a Wi-Fi enabled device to help visually impaired users learn and practice Braille through gamification. Offered by the American Printing House for the Blind, or APH, in partnership with Tinkerbell Labs, the product was named one of the top innovations in 2022. With a relatively small market, the nonprofit faces many unusual product development uncertainties. Customer risk. APH is in close contact with their customers and end users. Many of the product development team members are also visually impaired, so end user empathy is built in. Alpha testing of products is relatively easy so that customer satisfaction trends with the product development process. Financial risk. As a nonprofit serving educational institutions, APH has learned to operate lean. Partnering with Tinkerbell Labs and other third-party providers was a strategic move to improve both time to market and pricing of new products. Technical risk. Historically, APH has produced textbooks, software, and related educational materials at their Louisville, Kentucky facility. As technology rapidly advanced, APH began strategically partnering with organizations to introduce new technologies. Cooperative product development freed resources at the primary APH facility to improve management of internal projects while adding breadth to the product lines. People risk. Product managers at APH have been trained in DISC to improve self-awareness and team practices. Team members are highly committed to the mission and shared values. Successful product launches are built from a clear innovation strategy statement and effective working processes, such as using Kanban boards to maintain project workflow. Product development is about effectively managing risk. With Poly, APH demonstrated understanding of key uncertainties and built on previous successes. The Amazon Fire Phone failed to address market risks and resulted in a rare flop for the e-commerce company. Each of the 4 risk factors, customer, financial, technical, and people, are different for every company and for every new product development project. However, in most firms, the level of risk of these components dictates how the company designs and develops new products. Additionally, the maturity of a firm and the health of their innovation system will determine the appropriate NPD process. As we'll see in the following pages, a company that is relatively new to product development will select a different NPD process than one that has a track record of successful product launches. We'll also learn that companies become wed to the bureaucracy of a specific approach to manage one or more specific risk factors and to calm management fears. How to use this book. Each section of the book covers a major NPD process: waterfall, staged and gated, Scrum, Agile, and hybrid, Wagile, and Lean NPD. Within each section, you will be presented with an overview of the process, typical roles and responsibilities for team members and leaders, process phases or steps, recommended tools, guidance on when to implement the process, and a few cautions. At the end of each section, you will find a list of key tools for that particular NPD process. Finally, Appendix A includes a table showing an alphabetical list of tools and which processes are best suited to utilize that tool. Note that this book is about managing risk to design and develop new products that meet market needs. While product development can lead to new corporate ventures, we focus only on product development and not on creating new businesses. Instead, we will discuss the different process approaches to innovation, concentrating on project management tools that fit an organization's strategy, culture, and risk tolerance. Implementation of a successful NPD process often depends on the level of risk: customer, financial, technical, and people. But the project management approach selected by an organization can be used to change the culture to achieve specific goals. Figure 1-1 illustrates an example of the 4 basic risk factors for innovation. If you are new to innovation, we recommend you start in Part 1 to learn about traditional staged and gated, also called waterfall, processes for new product development. Part 1 also includes general background information on managing requirements and technical uncertainties for innovation projects. For simple projects, low level of requirements uncertainty and low technical uncertainty, waterfall processes are appropriate for both hardware and software development. Engineering and construction projects often follow waterfall systems so that staged and gated approaches are well known in the corporate world. If your organization is solely developing information, IT, or software products, you may want to skip to part 2. Scrum is the most common implementation of Agile and is the most appropriate Agile methodology for tangible product development. So we primarily focus on Scrum in part 2. However, it is challenging to find a full-blown implementation of Scrum in any organization that leads to repeatable and successful new product launches. Therefore, if your organization is struggling with bureaucracy built up by long-term dedication to waterfall processes, or with failure to meet project scope requirements with Scrum, we recommend hybrid waterfall agile processes. In part 3, we discuss Agile product development, a unique approach to new product projects that blends the discipline of stages and gates with customer focus and iterations from Agile. Application of Agile is most appropriate for companies that manage the 4 risk factors with excellence: customer, financial, technical, and people risk. Agile can be used with both hardware and software development and for simple or sophisticated technologies. In part 4, you will be guided through the Lean NPD process. Lean NPD is an outgrowth of quality management systems and encourages speed to market and cost efficiency for new product development. For a successful implementation of Lean NPD, your innovation teams should be mature with a deep understanding of the firm's key technologies. However, we have experience introducing Lean concepts for teams lacking trust and using third-party methodologies. Start with part 4 if your organization has a structure that is too rigid, but the underlying NPD process skeleton is well defined. Ultimately, every organization should start with the NPD process elements that are currently working well. Using the Innovation Health Assessment or Simplified Value Stream Mapping, see Appendix B, innovation leaders should choose components of each system to generate the best hybrid waterfall agile processes that fits their strategy and industry. Evaluating risk from the 4 facets of customer, financial, technical, and people perspectives is a starting point to select an appropriate hybrid NPD process. Additional references. While this text focuses on NPD processes, an organization must first start and craft an appropriate business strategy and innovation strategy. Firms must understand customer needs and apply design thinking models to continuous learning. Choosing the right projects is as important as executing a project well. The Innovation Process book is the 3rd in our series. Learning, adopting, transforming, and sustaining an innovation organization is described in the Innovation Answer book. Offering detailed questions and responses, the Innovation Question book, also available in Spanish, covers several general innovation categories. The latter text is useful for candidates for the New Product Development Professional Certification or University Classroom Study. Let's get started on our NPD process journey. Next time, we'll start with part 1, Waterfall NPD processes. I recommend again that you get a copy of the Innovation Process book available at Amazon. And I do recommend the paperback copy over the Kindle version because there are a ton of good reference figures and tables in this book. And I think you'll appreciate the paperback copy. And I hope you'll register for the course starting August 12th, where we will dig into your system with these different processes. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back next week starting on part 1.